East Stroudsburg University swimming with head coach Lisa Pizzuto. The Warriors came back from the PSAC Championships, and Coach, you guys finished ninth. That's your best finish since 2002. I'm sure you're very excited about how the team performed over the weekend.
We were. We had a great, like you said, team performance. We had contributions from everybody who we brought this weekend who qualified for the meet. So it was really exciting from that perspective to see them doing well individually and also doing well as a team, as a group.
You had 10 school records overall, 6 individuals, 4 relays. From the individuals, it wasn't just 1 or 2 kids, it was 5 overall. And in the relays, you had 8 different swimmers contribute to those records. So again, plays into the team aspect of what you guys did.
Absolutely. And like I said, it was a really good weekend. We had kids not only swimming well in the conference, but swimming well for themselves. And that's why we scored as well as we did, which was great.
When you look at the individual events, you had 2 kids make championship finals, in Sami Vavra in the 100 breast, where she finished 5th, and Kim Lawson in the 100 fly, where she was 8th. I know that those are really your 2 senior standouts this year, but going into the meet, you're not exactly sure everybody's going to perform. And again, you had to be very happy with how they did.
Yeah, we were. You always have, always pull your hair out, cross your fingers a lot when you're resting for a big meet like this. And so we were really pleased with how we did. Overall, with the exception of one young lady who had qualified very late in the year and had just tapered, everyone else had best times of the year, which was, that's a fantastic record going into a resting meet. So we couldn't have been happier with how we were doing. So we were really pleased with that.
And a ton of consolation finalists as well. Maybe the one that stood out, at least to me, was in the 100 and 200 breast, Sophie Coy, your freshman, was 9th, so winning the consolation final in both those events.
Yeah, absolutely. She really kind of blew up at this meet. I believe that when she puts on a racing suit, a tech suit, she becomes Superman. And so she really had a great meet overall. I'm not sure I was expecting that, and I was very pleased with how she swam overall.
Talk about what she did in the 200 breast specifically, because in the prelims, Sami Vavra had broken her own school record, and then Sophie came out in the final and dropped about a second and a half or 2 seconds off that, and it had probably a 6 or 7 second PR in that event.
Yeah. She has the stroke for the 200, quite honestly. She's just really long, very smooth, and she doesn't have a real cumbersome power stroke. It's more just a long stroke, and she really dropped a ton of time in the 200 to really kind of, like I said, explode at that meet. She had her Superman suit on, so she was all set and ready to go. I think it comes with a cape, possibly.
In the distance free, Allison Schafer broke both your school records in the 1,000 and the 1650. I know it's a grueling weekend when you open with the 1,000 on Thursday night, and you got to look ahead to the longer distance later.
Yeah, those distance events are pretty tough. We actually made a kind of a strategic maneuver with our assistant coach Nicole. She trains Allison. Decided not to have her swim in the 500 this weekend, so she swam Thursday night in the 1,000 and just crushed it in the 1,000, breaking her school record by, I think it was like 7 seconds. She had a really good swim, and then so she had the next day off and came back in the 400 IM and finished real strong in there, and then the third day with the 1650 was real nice. So she had a little break in the action. So we made some strategic maneuvers to get her into the right spots this weekend.
You've talked about 4 of the individual school record setters. The other was Karoline Vavra in the 100 free. I know the short freestyles especially very competitive in the conference. But
yeah. I think everybody swam the freestyle events, the 50, the 100, the 200 this weekend. It was extraordinarily competitive race. And she was able to sneak in the 100 freestyle, which was great. Again, she had a best time in there, and she swam really well through a long weekend, because she swims a lot of relays too. So she's swimming multiple times over the course of the weekend.
And as you said, you really load up some of the relays with your top kids who are also doing the individual events. But you had 3 who kind of contributed as well, and Mara Palazzari, Andrea Tremper, and Danielle Davis really stepped up.
Yeah, they did, and that was a really nice and pleasing thing for us to see, because Andrea's actually graduating a year early, so she's a junior and she's ahead, so she's graduating this year, and she had a really great meet. Mara and Danielle were both sophomores, and they really stepped into things. Neither one of them had qualified last year for the conference championship, and they really have come a long way, and were able to get into those relays as well, and set school records with that. as well, and finished top 8 in both those as well. So, it was really good to see them, the younger kids, kind of stepping into that role and going forward and making improvements as they go along in their college career, which is exciting.
We mentioned that Kim Lawson broke the 100 fly record. Didn't mention that was a record that had stood since 1977.
For a really long
I'm
time.
sure that was one
Yeah.
that she's been gunning for a couple of years.
It was. And I had spoken to Karen Link earlier in the year, who had the record for a long time. And I said, this year, by the way, that's going down. So, she was excited to see that as well. So, but yeah, I think Kim finally hit her real stride. She was mentally really in the meet, and she was able to calm down and just get the best out of her performance this year in terms of the 100 fly. And even in backstroke, she had a tough turnaround on that second day with the 100 fly and then the 100 backstroke being fairly close together. And she was able to finish and score in both those events, so it was very exciting.
You had Kim Lawson, Sami Vavra, and as you mentioned, Andrea Tremper swimming their final meets.
Yeah.
Just overall, how they performed this weekend and then over the breadth of their career.
Yeah, they were able to drop a lot of time, which was really, always pleasing for the coach, and even probably more so for the swimmers. I think the coaches stress out more about how the kids are going to perform leading up to the meet than the kids even do.
Yeah.
And even at the meet, you're like, could I have gotten anything else out of them? And I'm not sure the answer would have been anything but no, we really couldn't. They've really dropped a lot of time in college, and so we were really pleased with how they did and how they hit at the right time. And perform really well. So that was exciting to watch from both my perspective and Nicole's perspective as coaches, but also from their perspective as well as athletes. And the parents were happy. So everybody walks home happy. It's
Absolutely.
Good.
And then looking ahead, it's only late February 2013, but you have the 13-14 season around
oh my
the
gosh,
corner.
you're killing me, Greg. You give me one day off. Come on now.
With your underclassmen who are back, obviously this team sets a benchmark for what you want to be able to do next year.
Yeah, and it's tough. I mean, you keep setting school records. It's when is that going to end? I'm not sure. But one thing we've noticed with the way we're training right now is they do get better progressively from year to year. And so kids who may not have even made the conference meet this year will probably make it next year, and then the following year they'll probably start getting more in the mix in terms of scoring, and that's
right.
what we're seeing. So we're really excited with where we are right now. And who we have coming back. I think Allison's going to be a really strong leader and do very well in the distance events again next year. I think Karoline's going to make another improvement again as we go through for next year. Sophie obviously scored in 3 events already, which was really great to see and watch. And then with who we're bringing in next year, I think we can really make that happen again. That's what I'm hoping anyway. We'll see how that works out.
All right, well, congratulations on a great meet and weekend and kind of best performance over the last 10 or 11 years here at East Stroudsburg University. So thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good.
All right.